Rahmatullah, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. I want to ask if you made a mistake that you took a loan and you knew it was haram, but you took it. Is it enough for you to perform sincere tawbah, or because you said you are cursed by the messenger of Allah? So I was wondering, is it enough if you perform a sincere tawbah or not?
That's right. When you make a mistake, you commit a sin, for example.
Yes.
You may have done it not knowing it was sinful. For example, using bogus paper money. Then what you must do is, first of all, make tawbah. That is, you turn away from it.
Okay.
Number two, you make istighfar. You seek forgiveness for what you've done.
Yes.
Number three, you return to that which is the right way, the correct way, the way of virtue. Yes. Number four, you make a vow that you will not return to that which was wrong and evil. Number five, you now spend your time teaching others and warning others not to do what you did. Then you have a chance that Allah might protect you. Might forgive you. The other way of looking at the subject is that there are some times when it is not possible for you to get out of something which is wrong or evil. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, when you have a choice between two things, both of which are evil, what do? Do you know what he said? He said you must choose the lesser of the two evils. And my final comment is, our Prophet has said, when you see something which is wrong, which is evil, which is unjust, like the monetary system today, the first thing you must do, your first response must be to seek to change it with your hand. Take appropriate action to remove what is wrong and replace it with what is right. But if you don't have the power to do that, I can't, because I don't have the support of the scholars of Islam, no. There isn't a single prominent scholar of Islam anywhere in the world today who is standing up and declaring that the paper monetary system is bogus and fraudulent and haram. Either they have eyes and they can't see, or they lack backbone. I don't know which one. If you cannot change it with your hand, as with the present monetary system, then what do? The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, if you cannot change it with your hand, change it with your tongue. Speak out against it, which is what I'm doing, and which is what my students are doing. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless them and protect them. Change it with your tongue. And when you attempt to change it with your tongue, stand up for what is right regardless of consequences. Yes, if you have to suffer for standing up for what is right and standing up against what is wrong, well, what about all those before you? The prophets of Allah who suffered, the great sages who suffered in life because they stood up for what was right and stood up against what is wrong. You are in noble company. And then he said, if you cannot change it with your tongue, then at least change it with your heart. In your heart you must detest it. But if in your heart you have nothing, then you have no faith. That's my answer to you, okay?
Thank you very much, Sheikh.
Thank you for your call, yes. We return now to the brainstorming session. What we're doing is, we are going to make an effort here in Trinidad, and if you're in Britain, you must try to do it there in Britain. If you're in France, you must also do it. Wherever you are, try to do it. And that is that you form a group of people, like-minded people. You buy the raw gold and raw silver, and you mint. If you want to know how to do the minting process, where to get the minting machines and so on, send me an email. I'll direct you to my students who can assist you. My students in Cape Town are doing that. In a garage, they're minting their own dirhams. When I was there in Cape Town, they asked me to mint 1 dirham myself, and I did it. So tomorrow, maybe in a year, 2 years from now, when there's no more paper money, and if you want to buy gasoline for your car, you're going to have to use the digital money. At that time, it's time up now. We're going to have to go to the remote countryside, build our own market. Go to the remote countryside, build your own market, and use dirhams for buying and selling. Dinar, of course, is more valuable. The dinar is a gold coin, and the dirham is a silver coin. If you're a Hindu, you'll understand, because Hindus have good knowledge of the subject of money. If you're a Christian, you'll understand, because the temple in Jerusalem, in the time of Jesus, alayhi salam, minted its own coins. You know that if you're a Christian. And so, if the temple could do it, the masjid can do it here. So we have some masajid in Trinidad now who are showing interest, and I hope and pray that we'll be able to make the gold and silver coins available. But when they are available, I think the first preference should be the poor. The poor should have first preference to buy the dinar and dirham from us, particularly the dirhams. And those who have vast stores of wealth should not come and buy up all the gold and silver. No, that's not fair. Finally, the last thing I want to discuss today, after that session on the brainstorming session of last week, we had someone who traveled from the United States to be with us, and we were very happy to have her with us. And I hope she will take the message of our session to those in the United States whom she meets. Now then, I have a favor to ask before I notice we don't have any more calls today, only one from the Netherlands so far. Last time we had calls from India, we had one from Rawalpindi, we had one from Belgrade, and so on. You have the numbers at the bottom of the screen. If you want to call, you can do. And tell us, what is your view? How should we respond to cryptocurrencies? And if we want to mint dinar and dirham in Trinidad, would you be prepared to join with us? Call us and let us know. I need a volunteer. I'm using today's program to ask for a volunteer who would establish for me a website. And that website will be used exclusively for storing all my books. There are about 25 of them now, with the latest book on Dajjal, the PDF files of all my books, and all essays I've written. So it will call the INH Books and Essays website. I need someone who could kindly establish that website for me and maintain it for me. Whatever be the fees, if you need help with the cost of maintaining it, we'll help you with that. And then when that website is established, each book is there in a PDF file, which can be downloaded. Of course, those who want to download them free can also do that. But there are those who would like to assist me, and it's becoming more and more difficult now. There are roadblocks in the way to assist me financially in my work. So this is the way in which you can do it. That is, you can go to this website to download my books and my essays, and if you decide you want to download all the books and all the essays, then we can have a special amount that we can send you an invoice, and then you can send that money to us as a commercial transaction. They can't block that. They can't block that. So I need a volunteer who can kindly help me to establish a special website devoted only to my books and to my essays in PDF files. And once that website is established, we can then have the system of people paying a certain amount, a small amount, to be able to download all the amounts. If you want to download it free of charge, of course, you continue to do that. We have some emails here. Let me, if you're prepared to help me with a call from Canada, yes? Hello?
Hello, Sheikh Imran Hosein.
Yes.
Hey, may Allah bless you and your family, my friend.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you for all your guidance you've given me. You really helped me, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. I didn't actually think I'd get through. This is actually really cool. May Allah. This is a gift from Allah.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? I appreciate we're talking about the money, and it's very important. But does the question have to be directly on the money?
Go ahead and ask your question.
Pardon me?
Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, this might be a little bit off, and I'm not a learned man. I actually became a Muslim 2 years ago, but I know that the Pope, Papa Francesco, or whatever his name is, he signed a 7-year agreement with Israel stating that the Vatican is allowed pretty much dominance over Israel. Now, please, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I heard something like that also in the Bible about a 7-year. Do you think the Pope has anything to do with the coming of the Dajjal, the Vatican?
I have not paying much attention to studying what is happening in Rome with Pope Francis and the Vatican and its relationship with Israel. So I'm not, to use the French term, I'm not au courant with that subject. Yeah. So I have to ask for excuse, but I know that if you will excuse me, that the Vatican has played a strategically important role in bringing about the reconciliation and friendship and alliance between the Zionist Christian world and the Zionist Jewish world. There are Jews who are not Zionists, and there are Christians who are not Zionists. And the Christians who are not Zionists are much happier with Islam. The Christians, for example, the Orthodox Christians of Russia and of the Balkans and so on in Greece, they are more comfortable with Islam, and it's easier for us to build an alliance with them. But the Zionist Christian world, which is the Western world, those who control power in the West, and the Zionist Jewish world, who are the ones who created the state of Israel, they have formed a mysterious friendship and alliance, reconciliation in the modern age. Remember, the Zionist movement was created in 1897, perhaps, okay, in Basel. And in the Quran, you become a Muslim only 2 years ago, so perhaps it's new for you, and you may not be able to study the Quran in Arabic as yet. And
I actually listen to whatever you say. All my knowledge comes from what you
oh, yes, thank you. Thank you that you are listening to me and learning from me, and I am only teaching you what teachers have taught me, and they're now in the grave. They were great scholars, may Allah have mercy on them. I used to visit Canada. I can no longer do that today because of the way I preach Islam. You can understand.
I don't blame you. Honestly, Sheikh, I want to get out of this country. This is a horrible, godless country that we're living in.
Yes.
Last night I was at my masjid, and I don't mean to talk long. Excuse me for speaking while you were speaking. But we had a talk, and basically we were told that we must follow, if the society says to do something, we must do something. And basically we're talking about riba. And in Canada, because the Prophet said we wouldn't be able, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, because we won't be able to escape riba, that it's okay that we can't help if we have credit cards. And the society basically is based on interest. But then I wanted to say that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that to keep our iman, we'd have to move to the mountainside. I wanted to say anything, but how can I tell that to an imam when he's been studying all his life, you know what I mean? So everybody's using, and please forgive me and may Allah forgive me, but credit cards don't seem to be a sin here with the Muslims anymore. It's really sad over here.
When I was based in New York, I came across many strange and mysterious things when I was in New York. the fatwa was delivered that you cannot buy a house with a bank loan on interest, but it's permissible for the first one. Yeah? The first one you could take a bank loan on interest to buy it because of something called darura or necessity. And the second and third you can't do that. What a bogus fatwa. Then I got this fatwa that you can use a credit card. Yes, you can use a credit card. That's okay, provided that you pay the money every month on time so you don't have to pay interest. No, the agreement itself is haram because you are agreeing to pay riba or usury if you do not repay the credit card company on time. And that agreement is haram. If the agreement was that you have to drink a glass of Scotch whiskey if you do not repay the money on time, would you sign such agreement? Oh, they were all silent. They couldn't answer.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So you have...
And he said, we must follow society, but if Allah, like you said, they've made everything halal, but Allah has made haram. So last night they said we must follow the rules of society. Well, how can we follow people that don't follow our Lord? You know what I mean? It's madness, and it's unbelievable what's going on. And I'm just new, but from what I'm learning from you, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yes,
we need a lot of.
This is what's happening in the world today. Everything that the Lord God has made permissible or halal, the world is making haram. For example, an 18-year-old girl, 18 years of age, before she can be married. And the government of Trinidad and Tobago, which is now run by schoolboys, an attorney general who is a schoolboy, brought that legislation to Parliament, and everybody supported it. All the political parties supported it, including those who say we put God in front and we follow him. They all supported it. This is nonsense. This is evil. This is bringing about the collapse of society. She's free to have sexual relations before 18 years. She's no longer a virgin, that's okay. She can have as many abortions as she wants, that's okay. But she cannot get married. Wait until you see what Allah will do with you. When Allah destroys you, we pray that Allah will protect us. You say, this is false, this is evil, this is unjust, this is oppression, that's what you are doing. So everything that the Lord God has made permissible or halal, they are making haram or prohibited. That's what they're doing in the world today. And of course, I'm sad to say this to you, my brother, you just become a Muslim 2 years ago. But the world of scholars of Islam is doing something which in French they call it faire dodo. They're sleeping. They're sleeping, yes. Thank you for your call.
Yeah.
Thank you, Canada, for your call. We have a number of emails here. I don't know if we'll have time to respond to them. Sheikh Imran, Hosein, you've given me so much knowledge. My brother, may Allah bless you and your loved ones. I'm a new Muslim. Oh, this is from the same brother. Just 2 years ago, I used to be a Christian, but Allah sent me the truth. And I decided to change my life. I'm very grateful. I'm living in Canada. I tell you, this is a horrible, godless society. Yes, I agree with you, because even in school, children in school now are told that it's okay for a man to marry another man. Yes, I have a marriage certificate. That's your Canada. That's the Canada that you love so much. That's the Canada that you consider to be heaven. And you look down on Trinidad and Tobago. I wouldn't want to come back to Trinidad and Tobago. I prefer Canada. Yes, stay there and see what Allah will do to those who are comfortable with such a society. May Allah bless them. I have a question. Why is it I can understand everything so clear, but wherever I go, people seem to be sleeping? Yes, this is a test from Allah. Yes, Allah is testing mankind in the last stage. So many are failing the test. They are either sleeping or they lack courage, they lack backbone. And this is why our Prophet said that 999 out of every 1,000 in Akhir Zaman will go into the hellfire. That's what he said. 999 out of every one, sorry. No, it's not a hadith of the Prophet. It's the word of Allah. It's hadith al-Qudsi. He said, 999 out of every 1,000 in the age of Gog and Magog in the hellfire. I tried to email to you on your book site. I couldn't get your email address. My email address, you'll find it at the bottom of the screen. I've read your book on dreams and I learned so much about it. In Canada, we are all using credit cards. Our Prophet said that you will not be able to escape from riba. That's right. Credit card is riba. He said you will not be able to escape from riba. Not one person in all of mankind. And those who say we are not consuming riba, verily the dust of riba would reach him. Verily the vapor of riba would reach him. These are the words of the Prophet ﷺ. And today it's there. Riba everywhere. But the scholars of Islam, silent. Do they give a khutbah on the subject? No. Lovely khutbah on Miladun Nabi, the Prophet's birthday. Lovely, lovely. But not anything on riba. Wait until you wake up and see what Allah will do with you for betraying the religion of Islam. We've had a number of emails from last week, but time is running out. Time is running out. So many emails on how should we respond to the digital money, the cryptocurrencies. What am I going to do? All of these are responses from our people, and I only have a few minutes left. I can't mention names, okay? And I don't know how many of these I can read. Let me take the ones who have mentioned where they are from. Brooklyn, New York. Oh, I think I mentioned this already. I have a comment on digital money in America. I have 3 shops in Brooklyn, and we accept payments via credit, debit card, and bank that processes these payments. In this case, JP Morgan Chase. The banks charge a fees up to 5% of each purchase, up to 5%, plus 10 cents per swipe. This scheme generates for the bank, from my shops on one location alone, $2,300 US a month. The bank is earning. Yes. And the second one gets $900 a month, and the third one gets $700 a month. Oh, the banks are getting rich through the system. On the other hand, the banks issue cashback, up to 5% on their card holders, giving great incentive to consumers to use their credit cards. These cashbacks can be claimed by the card holder or the consumer as money in their accounts. I remember just 8 years ago, we didn't need to accept credit and debit cards. But nowadays, people are increasingly abandoning paper money and using credit and debit cards instead because it's beneficial to them. This is frightening. They don't have to demonetize the paper money. The people will themselves stop using the paper money, because if they use the credit card, they can get some advantage from using, it gets called the cashback. This is frightening. I didn't know about this. This is frightening. This one is from Canada. That was from Brooklyn. And Canada says, Sheikh, I would like to suggest a few points to respond to Dajjal's digital money. I'm your student. I'm not a person of knowledge, but I want to help with what I know. We all have to come together to make this thing work. We need to, number one, spread the word. Tell everybody around us. Use all the tools that we have, social media, internet, public discussions, and so on. So public education, correct. Number two, we must write emails, send letters to our political leaders, our authorities like judges, attorneys, military leaders, demanding for gold and silver to be used as money or legal tender, especially in the Muslim world. No. You can do it. They won't listen to you. No. The only ones who will listen to you are those in whose hearts there is sincerity, who do not want to betray Allah. These are the ones. Allah is testing us today. And most of mankind are failing the test. The only ones who are succeeding are those who in their hearts have integrity and they do not want to betray Allah. That's the one. Number 3, students of yours should form groups in their local communities and raise discussions at all public forums, schools, colleges, universities. Distribute books and other literature on the subject. Yes, we can do that. We've been doing it. But I tell you, the mainstream society will never accept it. Convert your liquid assets, meaning your cash, to physical assets like agriculture, land, animals, gold and silver. Correct. I agree with you on that. A new program has been launched by banks in which customers just swipe their phones on credit card terminals, replacing actual plastic card, credit and debit cards. I believe this technology will be widespread in the next 5 years. Yes, this is frightening, yes. Another email here. I hope this email reaches you before your next scheduled IBN program. Such a beautiful topic you have addressed, as you most often do. May Almighty Allah guide you in your endeavors. I mean, regarding the topic of the day, money, if there is a way out of it, the unity of the Muslims around the world, regardless of geographic location, will play a crucial role. For that, we need to build a successful business model to manage and to redeem money. When it becomes active, the Muslims should come together. If you can do it, go ahead and do it. I don't have the technical competence to handle such a subject. But if you can do it, go ahead and do it. For us, we want to build a market where you can go and buy melanjan and tomatoes and cucumbers and cabbage and so on with dirhams. The rest of the world is building a system for virtual money and strengthening it. It is a challenge for us. It is mammoth in proportion because the masses are all using it now. Fighting them hand to hand is going to be tough. Rather, if we make the biggest challenge to work in favor of us, we could just outsmart the system. I don't know how to do that. If you could outsmart the system, go ahead. I don't know how to do that. The challenge is to make the online system work. I don't think it will work. The sacrifice, we must not accept profit from establishing the system. So no profit, this is a service. Yes, if we mint dinar and dirham, we'll do it on a non-profit basis. The masjid will do it, and the masjid will charge you just what the masjid paid for the raw gold and for the cost of minting. We've run out of time now. I have all of these still left here, all of these still left here. So maybe next week we can continue. I'll remember that I made an appeal. If you can kindly help me, a volunteer who can come forward to establish a website for me, which will be used exclusively for the PDF files of all my books and all my essays. It's entitled INH Books and Essays, PDF files. So people can go there and get them all and download them free of charge, and those who want to pay something can do so. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.